Hey, Flashy Live, what's up? Do you have any tips for landing a job nowadays? Let me pause real quick and we will answer this question before I continue. And you have 1 year experience. I unfortunately don't have too many like tips to give you. My major one is like networking, honestly. Like even before I joined, like I got into the tech community, networking was like the way to go. I know one of my best friends got her job because I was working at the company and noticed an empty position, was like, hey, apply. And then I talked her up to my manager. Another one of my friends, basically the same thing. Well, a job ago, I also was networking via like Facebook groups. Like there are Facebook groups where you can introduce for remote jobs is what I was looking for, or like local to Austin as well. And they had like a weekly post that was like, hey, introduce yourself, get to know people. Maybe people will have a job for you if you have your skills. I wasn't afraid to put myself out there. And that's how I landed my first job as a software engineer is I put myself out there. I said my skills, I said my years of experience, which was 0, but like I had been learning web dev and Swift at that time and was ready to like make the leap, but I had nothing like professional on my resume at that point. My manager at the time found me, introduced himself and said, hey, does this sound good to you? Like, would you like to do an interview? And I said, yes, I would. I didn't care what the job was. I was ready to hop onto whatever like web development or Swift development. It was web dev at the time job. Like I could get, because I didn't want to do product support anymore. That's like what I did was how I started introducing myself and just kind of got out there. And again, not networking with people I knew, just like networking in general. And that's the same for this job, kind of, except a degree of separation of networking. Michaela Karen, who's usually in the chat, actually found this job, and I just dropped her YouTube channel, found this job in a Slack. And sent it my way and said, you better apply. You are a perfect fit for this. And I did. And that's kind of how I landed my iOS job. So the biggest thing I can say is start talking in with people and start trying to know what they're doing. You say you've been using LinkedIn so far, but it's hard since there aren't local companies around you. Yeah, LinkedIn is kind of intimidating, honestly, to me. And LinkedIn's an interesting one to network on, right? Like, I don't accept people unless I know them. So I get like a lot of requests daily, honestly, of like people wanting to connect, and I like deny them unless I actually know the person, whether I know them via internet or I know them via like IRL in real life. I will deny them if I don't know them on either ways. What do I use instead of LinkedIn? I go to groups that I'm interested in learning from. So like there are several Discords for web development or several Discords of web dev streamers that I'm a part of that have people posting jobs that they're into that like people can take. There's several Swift Discords that people will post jobs in, stuff like that. So I like to go to those type of things just because I know they're more geared towards what I want. And then they'll also, not only are they geared towards what I want, I can also probably reach out pretty quick because people posting those are expecting people to ask them questions. But yeah, that's like what I do. There's also like a couple opportunities like from like, I think it's called Remote OK, and other like remote nomad style job boards. Those jobs go really quickly and are really hard to get like if you're starting like fresh, but you never know. I mean, I've only worked remote since I've been a software engineer or have been some type of software developer. As Mono said, a good GitHub profile is pretty good to have as well. And a nice little website. I mean, honestly, your profile could be enough to showcase your projects, just link to projects that are live. And that should be pretty good as well. But yeah, like honestly, like, and then like Mono saying, like showcasing your passion for building things is also really nice. I think that's what really helped me with my current job and probably my last job, honestly, is like I have a passion for building things. I mean, here we are on a live stream at 8:45 my time talking about how to recreate a Instagram in Swift UI. Like I've been doing this for the last like 3 years, I think. And it's been fun. And I didn't start off with the initial anticipation of wanting to get a job. I just started to like meet people to talk with. And you never know who's going to have your job, your next job. or give you an in for the next job. So like I said, networking is like a really big deal in my opinion. Like, and keep submitting applications. Like, honestly, you never know when your first break is going to happen. So just keep going. And don't like, I know I say just keep applying, but also don't spam at the same time. Like, I personally did the whole spam my resume everywhere and didn't really get good, I didn't get any results. But once I started being a little bit more picky and a little bit more of like, oh yeah, this actually fits like what I'm looking for, I started getting either responses back saying, hey, they're not gonna move forward with me, or like actual asks for interviews. Like maybe I didn't make it past the interview rounds, but at least I got responses back. So that's like my tips. Hopefully those are helpful. Hopefully something like that will work.